here we are with another hard clue opening. We've only got 450 stacked right now, but we've got another 50 on the ground here. So over the course of our opening, we'll finish up those hard clues and we'll have 500 total for the month. Of course, the hard clue log we green logged a long time ago. 16,000 clues completed, 5 times completed. Still need several drops to be 6x. And then, of course, the hard megas, just missing 4 pieces of third age. We've opened 2,500 hard clues since our last piece of third age, so this is going to put us up to 3,000. So we're going to be really close to that that piece of third age drop rate, which is 1 in 3,250. I did forget to drop my masters over here. All right, time to get opening. We'll just open as normal from here on out. Just every half hour we'll open another 100. Did you see that? 3 masters in a row. Wow. That is quite nice. Good way to start out the day for sure. GM Leviosa. Got here just in time. Wow. Starting out really strong on the Masters. Thank you, strategy. Good lord. 5 Masters in the first, 30 clues. That's crazy. I figured that's what you meant, Leviosa. Yeah, I mean, we're getting pretty dang close to drop rate for our next piece of third age, so it's definitely possible. We are still +2, +2.5 on third age rolls though, across all of our clue scrolls. So if we went on a little, I'm not saying I'm hoping for it, obviously, but if we went on a little bit of a dry streak, I would not be able to be too mad. Oop. Another H plate body. All right, died down on the Masters now, which is to be expected. All right, on rate for Masters there to begin with, not bad. What the hell, Morgan? It's Will Casket. That's a crazy emote. I love it. Yes, Brave. We're going to be opening every half hour like usual now. Liar and Jungle. Yeah, absolutely brave. No, you absolutely should use sound cues for Doom. 100%. Doom was something that using the sound cues really helped me with. Same with TOA. Same with Coliseum as well. And I assume I'm like really gonna rely on sound cues for Inferno as well. I say I've never used sound cues at all at CG, but I can imagine it would help. Oh yeah, I also definitely do P&M with sound on as well. It's one of those things that especially while learning, right? Remixed. You know, maybe you get to a certain point where it's automatic enough that you don't need the sound cues, you just need the animations. Or like if the sound is just like very, very vaguely playing in the background. But especially when learning, it really helps. BBL? No, no. I know. Just not the acronym that I think of when I see BBL. You got Morgan, you got one of the big fish the other day, right? I couldn't remember when it was that you got it, but I'm like, I swear she got the haddock, was it? Have you gotten krill or no? Hiding between the small ones? You just got to cast a bigger net then, catch all of them. Oh, you do have krill as well then. Okay. So now you moved on to yellowfin slash halibut. Three big krill? Why? Especially considering you already have paint. Oh, that's right, because you got two of them on the guild, like the special shoal. That's right. I do remember you saying that now. Yeah, pretty tragic that you got that when you already had it. Oh, it said it was reconnecting me to chat for a second. I thought the stream dropped, and I was really scared, but doesn't look like we dropped any more frames. We dropped some frames early, but I don't think we actually disconnected. Guy in your CC has over 40 big fish, no paint. I have seen screenshots of people with, yeah, like 30, what do you call it? 30 krill, like 30 blue krill, no paint. I think I only had 5. Well, 4 rolls, but I have 5 of them in the bank because one of them was a double roll. Kind of funny that that bug still never got fixed. Yeah, I've heard people talk about doing this like AFK, like sleep log out for Krill. I don't know though. I feel like I'd rather just like hard grind it and then use my AFK for like moon keys. But if it's sleep log out, obviously that's way more time than you can AFK um for keys. But I'm only vaguely familiar with what the method was. Pretty sure they fixed it. Actually, I do think I saw someone say the other day that they fixed it. I think you are right about that, Coco. I think this is my last chin telly of the day. Oh, nope, I still got one more. Okay. Crisis averted. Don't y'all worry. Dude, I haven't done my tree run in so long. At the beginning of the year, I was actually kind of sticking to it somewhat well. And I have, like, absolutely fallen off a cliff the last month with my tree runs. Yeah, I think there was a way to 6-hour log while doing trawling. So you would just sit at one location. So you'd only catch for like, 20% of the time while you were logged in, but you could do it for 6 hours before logging out. So you could just set that up before you go to bed and then you'd get some free rolls. So I hear at least. Hello, Britt. I know you do, and every day I do my clue scrolls and I run by the tree patch in the tree gnome stronghold and I run it by my tree patch at Catherby and I'm like, I should do my tree run, and then I never do. But how you doing today, Britt? As much as I'm annoyed that they added the minigame telly and it messed up all the teleport locations, it is nice to be able to use the minigame telly from the spellbook. Never have to worry about accidentally joining a minigame friends chat ever again. Okay. Well, sometimes that's all you can ask for, right, Britt? I definitely know that feeling. Yeah, I'm worried about getting kind of like hard stopped like that on Inferno attempts as well. But I mean, while I was doing Coliseum, I had that a little bit where, you'd get really far on one attempt and then all of a sudden you'd get like stuck on the lower waves and you're like, what the heck? I just keep telling myself that, I'm in it for the long haul, so it's not as big of a deal, right? Doesn't matter if it takes me a while to get better at it because I need to do, like 100 Kalo runs anyway in order to get Pet and Ralos. Yeah, I've heard people say that those double blob waves are annoying. Obviously, I'm not familiar, but so I've heard. Soon I will be. That is very, very true. Um, Also, Britt, how much do you have to pay for a Inferno death? Is it the normal 500k death pile? I couldn't remember how the death mechanics there work. It's free? Okay, that's big. 'Cause I was gonna say, I'm like, it'd be annoying losing so much money on death costs and then not even getting loot at the end, like with Kalo. Because at least with I have legitimately spent like 100 mil at Kalo between death costs and charging my quiver. But on the flip side of that, I'm like, if I could actually start clearing some of these runs, oh boy, the money's gonna start rolling in. Yeah, but the supply cost does add up pretty quick, to be fair. Especially if you're using like prayer regen potions and whatnot, which I think you were with your setup. Yep. On the same page there. Other than that, I suppose it's not too bad, just paying mostly for like restores and a couple brews. I don't think I don't know if I've ever used prayer regen potions before actually. Only seen people use them in the Inferno. That makes sense, honestly. Because yeah, it's like even in Colosseum, the extra prayer just really isn't necessary. Oh wait, do you not use Shadow early? Do you just use Ayak? Only use Shadow on Major because he's tanky. Oh, interesting. I didn't realize that. But isn't one Shadow cast like 1k or something? Thought it was still pretty dummy cheap. Maybe I'm stupid though. I occasionally am. My clicks are not accurate right now. Just use Ayak. I guess that makes sense as it's so much faster. Cost of a shadow charge is 1300 GP apiece. That is not bad at all. Oh, true. Yeah, you get to have an offhand. I forget that offhands exist, not gonna lie. I guess other than a Vernic, you know. Obviously a Vernic exists. I guess defensive offhands. Yeah, you mentioned using an Eldritch Brit. And well, there goes my spec on that rock crab. Nice. And I'm like, maybe I do need to start doing some more P&M, get myself my own nightmare orbs, right? I'll just, quickly green log Fasani's nightmare. That way I don't have to buy those items. Surely it can't be that hard to green log Fasani's, right? Yeah, I believe it's nice. Yeah, I mean, between sourcing my own orbs from Fasani's and potentially getting myself a Soul Reaper naturally, I'd be able to get myself a couple niche upgrades without actually having to pay out the nose for them. Would be pretty nice, but I really don't know where all I'd use the Nightmare Stabs, but it would just be nice to have them. Just in case I ever need them, you know? Eldritch especially, I feel like, is actually useful in a couple places. The other one's less so. Very nice, Morgan. I was thinking maybe the Blood Scepter would be good, since you mentioned the Ancient Scepter. I do always forget that the Blood Scepter allows overheal too. You don't have a Blood Scepter, Britt? Really? We'll go yoink one of those real quick. Can't take that long. What is it at Vardor? It's like a 1 in 100, but it's also got drop rate protection, I believe. Surely they're not that rare. 1 in 204. Huh. I don't remember when it starts clamping on the drop rate at Vardorvis, though. I just know that there is a drop rate protection. I suppose, Britt. Yeah, I mean, you might as well keep doing raids and necks while you can, absolutely, Britt. No reason to put off doing that for sure. Won't do cow boss though. Makes sense, makes sense. Yeah, I never really tried too hard to make interesting drops for my, last item I needed for Gilded Staff or those things. It was almost Quiver for 1525 though the other day to regain the Gilded Staff. But I had to get too many Sunfire pieces before then, unfortunately. Yeah, that's more than fair, Britt. More than fair. Doesn't have to be anything too crazy. It just can't be something too stupid. I don't remember what my 1K slot was. It probably was something dumb. I remember poor Barrow, he had like lined it up where he wanted to get something really cool for his 1000th log slot, and then Jagex released scroll cases and it got him to 1000 from like 980 or something like that. Or like 990, and he was really disappointed. I'm like, yeah, that sucks. Some random elite clue unique. It probably was some clue unique for me as well, if we're being honest. It was like I mean, he wasn't gonna stop at 1000 collection logs, but like, he was like, it was like a big moment that he was really preparing for, and then all of a sudden it was just like, nope. I'm like, damn, that blows. I guess, on to season 2 then, right? Oh, you know what? I forgot to run an ad. Let me run an ad real quick. And then when we come back, we'll do the next set of clue scrolls. I just didn't want people to get pre-rolls if they come in while we're opening, you know what I mean? I would be kind of a troll. I want to try and get better about running ads during clue opening specifically. That way pre-rolls are disabled while we're opening the clues at the very least. Come on. But I should also just try to get better at preemptively running ads anyway. It's like actually just straight up a win-win, Heffy. It means I get to run more ads, so I make more ad revenue, and it means that you guys don't get ads in the middle of like actually important content. Same goes for like raids. Like if somebody raids or something. That's one of my biggest pet peeves is when I get an ad after raiding someone. I really wish I could specifically turn off ads for people who are a part of a raid. Oh. All right. Wee 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 wee. Hard clue alert! So it was actually a clue scroll unique. That's pretty funny. All right, another 100. I think we got like another 40 to do or something like that. Okay, let's keep up this master RNG. It's been pretty good so far. Thank you, thank you. For anyone who wasn't here when I was, opening earlier, I did say that we're getting pretty close to on rate for our next piece of Third Age. So it wouldn't be crazy for us to be, expecting another Third Age roll somewhat soon here within the next week or two. Ooh, wait, did you see that back there? That clue is 4,362 GP. I think it came with a master, though. Let me check that one. I'm like, that is pretty rough. Yeah, 4,257, but it had a master clue scroll, so, not too shabby. Can't be too mad when you get a master clue. Yeah, absolutely stonks, Brave. Not as much. Well, no, never mind. We've gotten 3 and 50. That's exactly what we're expected so far. Master. Okay, on rate for masters then. Nice. Everything else before wave 5 feels easy, though. That's great. One of the worst things about learning new content is when you keep planking on, like, the easy part of the content, right? Like, it's so frustrating planking, obviously. But at least if you're dying on the part that's, holy, another ton of masters. At least if you're planking on the part of the content that's difficult, it feels better than planking on the stuff that you know you should be good at, right? A little bit of cope there, but nothing's wrong with a healthy little bit of cope. All right, that was another 9 masters from that. Very nice. We were like minus. I want to think we were -7 on masters going in today. That sounds about correct. But I know that's how it's felt at Coliseum actually, Brave. Is I've still been dying a lot on the earlier on like the waves, not at Soul, but I've started to get to the point where like the first like 8 waves feel like pretty free. And it's kind of just like wave 10 and 11 even that's really tripping me up most of the time. I still die a couple times on the earlier waves, but for the most part, it's just those later waves that really trip me up. Because specifically, wave 10 and 11 is when you get a mage reinforcement with the Minotaur, and that can be tricky. Plus, the wave 10 also has 4 spawns, which increases the chance of a double south spawn too. Yeah, it did kind of piss me off though. The other day, Eddie got his second quiver. I'm still sitting there with one quiver, being like, "Oh, damn it!" But I'm getting better. And it does help me cope that I know at the very least I didn't lose anything important on those ones that I didn't get quiver. I didn't get the money. And, if I got an extra quiver, I could gamble it for another chance at pet. But at least I know I didn't miss the pet roll on the wave itself or the Ralos roll. Did we got a gilded roll last week, didn't we? We did. We got one gilded roll last week. So far this month, it was potions roll, then nothing, then gilded. I didn't realize February was actually kind of stacked. February, we had some pretty good loot. So far in March, it's been pretty mid. But that's how it goes. It always comes and goes. At Domas. True, true, true. I forgot. I can't feel too bad for Domas though, since he got himself his moon helm. Honestly, I would trade him those gilded legs for moon helm in a heartbeat. Would not even be a conversation. Though he would probably also take the moon helm over the plate legs. But also plate legs, green log all gilded for him though. I think he would only be the 6th person to do it or something. So I'm sure it's something he wants. At the beginning of today, 450. But we're gonna be able to open all 500 by the end of today. We're just doing hards in between the clues instead of masters. I think we've got about another 30 on the ground right now. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, it was an exhausting weekend of clue scrolls, but we got there in the end. You know, stayed up until 1 and then woke up at 6 to keep doing clue scrolls. I have been considering now. Call me a rat if you want, but I have been considering asking Larry for a magpie impling loan because I know he has like half a mil magpies in his bank. So I've been considering messaging him, just being like, "Hey, can I borrow like 100K of those magpies? I'll get them back to you. I just don't really have a lot of free capital right now." Speaking of being a rat, I watched a I've been watching a lot of the original run of Yu-Gi-Oh lately, and in one of the episodes I was watching this morning, one of the characters is just like, "I smell a rat." It just gave me such a chuckle. Something else that actually really threw me off too is, I mean, the original run of Yu-Gi-Oh was what, like early 2000s, right? And it's like the in-universe game of Yu-Gi-Oh is actually a trading card game, right? Oh, GZ Morgan. That's actually huge. But so they're actually playing a card game, right? And Yugi is fighting Pegasus, and before the match with Pegasus, they shuffle up their decks and then present them to the other player in order to shuffle and cut them, which one is like the first time they've ever done that in one of the episodes, like actually presenting their physical decks to the other player to be able to shuffle and cut before the match, which is something you actually do when, playing trading card games. But on top of that, Yugi shuffles Pegasus's deck, but then Pegasus just taps the top of Yugi's deck and says it's fine, and he doesn't shuffle it, which is a thing that you actually do in like trading card games, where if you don't want to shuffle the person's deck, you can just like tap the top. It's like shorthand for saying the deck's fine. It doesn't need to be shuffled. And I'm like, was that already a thing before? Did they invent that? I don't know, man. I didn't think that like trading card game etiquette was a thing back then. It really threw me off. I'm sure that's a little side tangent ramble that nobody here cares about or barely understands, probably even, but it was something that threw me for such a loop. I thought was fascinating. What was the step 7? Yeah, I mean, it's less of a reason why or not he did it. I just thought it was interesting because, like I said, I didn't think that that type of like trading card game etiquette existed at the time. I don't know, but I assumed it was probably that. But also, Pegasus's Millennium Eye can't let him like see the cards. He can only like read opponents' minds or something, I guess. But I haven't finished the duel yet, so I'm still not. I still don't understand it entirely. But I did get to the part where Yugi and like the Pharaoh's spirit or whatever decide to like swap places so Pegasus can't read his mind, which I did think was a fun solution to the problem. That's true, I suppose. I didn't think about how like trading card game etiquette like that could have actually been inherited from like other playing card games. I had not considered that. But I did also notice at one point, I think when Yugi is cutting Pegasus's deck, he like shuffles Pegasus's deck and then hands it back to him, but he hands it back to him upside down so you could see the bottom card. And I'm like, that's crazy. Bluefin is tier 3, so probably better to go Yellowfin first. Dude, the original run of Yu-Gi-Oh is like kind of crazy. I watched the first half of it, but then I stopped watching it because I couldn't be asked to read subtitles because there's no dub of it. But it's actually crazy. Yugi just like out here casually. It was the original Squid Game. Actually, that's actually pretty accurate. The original run of Yu-Gi-Oh was just Squid Game. Yugi plays random kids games with criminals and then sends them to hell. I can't believe Squid Game copied Yu-Gi-Oh like this. It's honestly disgusting. I've also been finishing watching Overlord as well. That's the other thing I've been watching. I have not been impressed with the later seasons, to say the least. Season 4 is shaking up to be my least favorite season so far, but also to be fair, I've been disliking the first half of most Overlord seasons. And then when they start actually doing stuff in the second half of the season, it starts getting more interesting. But the first half is always like boring politics nonsense. It is funny though too with Yu-Gi-Oh because I keep watching the anime. I'm like, it would be kind of fun to play a card game where you like power up your monsters and then just bash them against each other. But of course, like power up cards are not good in most card games because you just like 2-for-1 yourself. And then I was like, wait a second. Spending a lot of cards and resources into like one monster to try to power it up to sweep through your enemy's defenses, that's literally just Pokemon. I just reinvented Pokemon. I used to play a lot of Magic the Gathering, but I sold all my cards like 2 years back, which was sad because it felt like I was like selling my child, but at the same time I don't regret it because I don't really like where Magic is at these days anyway. I've played a bit of Pokemon online and it's pretty fun. Just I played like I booted it up and played it again a couple months back, but the like current meta for Pokemon is like really toxic. It's like actually just not fun. There's so much like poison and counter moving shenanigans that the deck diversity is kind of dog. Yeah, I like it theoretically in concept, but every time I actually look into it, I'm like, oh, this is like unplayable garbage. And maybe that's a little hyperbolic. Maybe I'd like it a little bit more if I actually looked into it, but turns out when you have no deck building restrictions, the game gets pretty stale. The other thing that I think is crazy about Yu-Gi-Oh is that it's only an eternal format. I don't understand why they don't have a rotating format in Yu-Gi-Oh. Like, don't get me wrong, you can still have an eternal format. We still got 10 minutes, Brave. Don't get me wrong, you can still have an eternal format and it can still be fun for some people, but it's crazy to me that there is like no set rotating format. Trying to bait you into saying it. Almost got me, almost got me. He did make me do a double take. I'm like, is it really? Has it really been a half hour already? Oh shoot, I didn't check to see how many of this step we have. I don't think it's more than 3. Yeah, I mean, honestly, just like modern Yu-Gi-Oh is basically like Magic Legacy, which is the, format where you get to play every card ever. And Legacy can be interesting, but it's also like so overpowered that it's pretty impossible for anything fun to exist. But also, then they started printing stuff directly into Eternal formats, which I'm like, why the fuck are you messing with Eternal formats like this? As part of the reason why I'm glad I got out of playing Magic the Gathering. Once they started making like Modern Horizon sets, because I mostly played Modern and I loved Modern, but once they started printing cards directly into Modern, specifically for Modern, I'm like, what are we doing here, boys? Oh, that was correct. I just like spammed random numbers and I'm like, well, that was not the correct number. And then the tree is like, good job, you used the correct number. I'm like, huh. Eternal format's more popular than standard. Yes, but also like having multiple formats, because the other problem isn't even necessarily Eternal versus like rotating formats. It's just having more diversity of being able to play different things, right? When the whole game is only one format, it just prevents you from being able to, like move between formats to find what you like more. Also, like restricted Eternal formats, like something like Modern. Like I said in I almost said in RuneScape. In Magic, I always played Modern. I never played Standard at all because of the cost of rotating, like decks rotating so frequently. But it was nice that, there's a bit more of a constraint on Modern because of the fact that it cut off some of the even more powerful old stuff. I think something similar to like block constructed could work really fun for Yu-Gi-Oh! To like focus around specific mechanics, especially since it lines up well with the anime, where it's like you force yourself to play with only synchros or only XZs or only Link, but also or only pendulum, since I know everybody loves pendulum summons. But obviously I am, what the heck? There we go. But also I'm not a Yu-Gi-Oh player, so I couldn't tell you if that actually would work well or not. Hello Shaka, how you doing today? Modern is super diverse right now. I think, did they finally ban the One Ring? Because the One Ring was like the one card that I really hated when I was looking into Standard a year ago. Been better, but not bad. Sometimes that's all you can ask for. Hopefully, you'll feel a lot better when we yoink some third age here, though. For sure, Shaka. I've said this a couple times now, but by the end of today, we're going to be at 3K clues since our last piece of third age. So we're closing in on that drop rate for our next piece. Almost forgot to run an ad a second ago there. Uh, Out of my energy drink now, too. Alright, well, we've only got about an hour left. Good. Alright. Wee. Hard clue alert. Once we juggle these clues real quick here. You better believe it. I'm feeling something now, you know? I'm feeling something. I think this is the super secret special set that we needed, you know? Gonna get something right here for sure. So far, we have just gotten a H plate body so far today. Hopefully it's not just gas. You wait, actually, I think you might be right, actually, Shaka. That little feeling I was feeling in the pit of my stomach was actually just, you know, my stomach rumbling. I'm just a little hungry, I think. Jeez, we're going crazy on the Masters today. Love to see. Did we really? Wow. We really got like 5 more clues already. That's crazy. Ooh, there we go. Gilded chain body. I said we were due for something here, right? I think... Let me double check, actually. That might be a new piece of gilded for us this year. Yes, it is. Get to add that bad boy to the the set here. Can we be so lucky to round it out with a potions roll as well, even? Wouldn't that be nice? Better get the copy pasta ready, just in case, Brave, just in case. Look at that, another 9 Masters for this set of 100. Dude, we are going crazy today on the Masters. Tenth Master. Oh! It finally happened. It finally happened. I knew it was going to happen one of these days. I knew it was going to happen one of these days. Our first piece of Dupe Third Age. Whew. I mean, it was still under rate for our next Third Age roll. So I can't be too mad about that, right? But that is our first piece of Dupe Third Age. It's a little bittersweet. I mean, we couldn't get away with it for forever, right? We couldn't get away with it for forever. We were bound to get a dupe eventually. Man, I did think we were going to get something today. I really did. I really did. Someone said good dupe, though. I think they're actually right. I think, yeah, 93 mil. That is one of the more expensive pieces of Third Age, I believe. Man, so we're doing good on Masters today, and we hit the Third Age, and I don't... Oh, no, that is a piece of Third Age we've already gotten this year. So check this out. We are actually going to have 2 pieces of that piece of Third Age in our bank here. Little silly. Little silly. Oh. That is actually... Wait, actually... Aw. That is a triple we already have, too. All right, well... Let's open up these last couple... What the hell? And we got ourselves our first dupe gilded Hosta as well. Only missing 2 more pieces of gilded to be 2x on gilded completion. That is very, very silly. Actually, so that means we've gotten 2 gilded rolls and a Third Age roll today, which I think every single time we get a piece of Third Age, we've always gotten 2 gilded rolls in the same week as well, which is very silly. Solving the cash issue? True, actually. Okay. Well, back to it, I suppose. I can't believe we still have 200 more to open today as well. Let me check. Wait. When was that that Third Age? What clue is that on? Oh, maybe it's too far back for me to see then. Oh, no, here we go. On 16303. Could you imagine if we got two pieces of third age in one day? Now that's crazy. Like I said, we're still way ahead on third age rolls in general, which is kind of crazy anyway. Oh wait, we need to grab our claws again. I mean, I was high key hoping that, Coco. Could you imagine if we just greenlogged third age without any dupes? Like, would it be pretty crazy? Man, honestly, it hurt less than I was expecting it to. That honestly hurt less than I was expecting it to. I was really preparing myself to like really feel bad when I get that first dupe third age, but I think it helps that I think we got that after about 3,000 we got that third age about 3,000 clues since our last piece of third age, so still below rate, right? So our total amount of third age rolls is still super lucky. So I can't feel too bad about it. Plus, we were probably due for a dupe third age a long, long time ago. So, like, it was bound to happen eventually. It was only a matter of time. Yeah, exactly, Morgan, exactly. Pretty crazy. It's our first dupe at 16,000 hards. Striped sweater by SpongeBob more. The best time to wear a striped sweater. I like this profile, not profile picture, the album cover they've got here, The Fury of the Aquabats. It is one of the album covers of all time, I'll say that much. Did they just say I bet you take a shower every day? That's a pretty funny insult. I love that. Wolf, you've got a pretty extensive collection of unique music. Do you know OCT, short for On Company Time? They make a bunch of like parody slash joke songs. The most important of which, of course, being Don't Touch My Clogs. You do? I'm like, there's no way he doesn't know about them, right? You know, the one thing I'm mad about with that dupe third age is that it was a piece of third age we already got this year too. You know what I mean? At least if it was a dupe piece that we hadn't gotten this year, it would have been a new placeholder in the tab, but it is kind of cool seeing that we have two of the same piece of third age in there though. And it is one of the more money ones, so I'll take it over getting, Dupe Vams or something. I moved my clue timers to be next to my orbs over here. You just can't see it because it's behind my face. It's just easier for me to see over there because then, one, it doesn't blend in with my other timers over here, and two, I'm always looking over here to like spec and pray and stuff like that. So I feel like it's a little bit harder for me to forget about slash miss. Doesn't want him yelling at you anymore. I didn't even think about the fact that it would be like what do you call it? Like hidden from chat until like I went live this morning. I was like, wait a second, chat's not gonna be able to see it. And I did think, I'm like, I guess Coco can't stress out about it now. Or maybe he'll just stress out about it more now that he doesn't know what it is, what it's at, You once gave your friend a puzzle missing 7 pieces as a gift. I feel like 7 pieces is a few too many, though. You know what I mean? But I guess it depends on how big of a puzzle it is, too. Like, if it's a 1,000-piece puzzle missing 7 pieces, that's fair. Thank you for the follow, iMantis. Much appreciated. 2,000 pieces. Were any of the missing pieces edge pieces? Because I feel like if they were edge pieces, people are going to naturally set up the edge first, and then they're going to realize that one of the pieces is missing, and then just, like, not finish the rest of the puzzle. But I don't know. Maybe people do their puzzles a different way, I'm not up to date with all of the puzzle solving metas, Random from the center. Okay. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it for sure. And 7 out of 2,000 isn't that much. Kindly mad after she almost fixed it. I can't imagine why. I truly cannot imagine why. Honestly, it sounds like she needs to have a better sense of humor, honestly. Because that joke is funny. That's a good question, I guess. I guess I had assumed that she never got the missing pieces. No, she threw out the puzzle. Damn. I would say that's a waste of a perfectly good puzzle, but I'm certainly not a puzzle fanatic myself. I would say it's a pretty good use of a puzzle. Collected a few from outside, said here are the missing pieces. It's pretty diabolical. My little brother had a lot of Rubik's Cube puzzles growing up. So like there were all different types. 3x3, 4x4, 5x5, 6x6. He had a 13x13. He had a you know, had a 3x3x2, a 2x2x3. He had a dude, I'm forgetting the names of, like, he had a Scube, Square One. What's the dodecahedron one called? Why can't I think of it now off the top of my head? Dude, this is really gonna bug me. Megaminx. A Megaminx. And so one year he always had him like sitting out in the computer room. So one year for April Fool's Day, I scrambled up all of his cubes, including some of including corner twisting a couple cubes, making them unsolvable unless he corner twisted them back. And somebody later told me, they're like, that's not really a it's not really a prank. You're kind of just being an asshole. And I'm like, yeah, I guess that's accurate. But then again, a lot of pranks are just being an asshole, you know? 3x3 world record, like 2.5 seconds. Yeah. On top of that, though, like, I think honestly crazier than like the single solve world record is I think the like best of 3 is down to like 4 seconds. I don't know if that's true or not. But you know, they take the middle 3 solves out of 5 for, I'm sorry, best of 5, not best of 3. And yeah, like the consistency as well has gotten pretty insane. Hello there, Otter. How you doing today? Yeah, I don't think I feel like Zemdigs doesn't really solve much anymore. I think it's all, what's that other guy's name? It's not like Patrick or something. I can see his face, but I can't think of his name. I'm doing quite well, Otter, actually. If you do exclamation today, surely Coco has updated everything today, surely. Max Park, thank you. Last name started with P. I was gonna say, I'm like, I don't think his name starts with P, but my brain keeps thinking it does. Thank you for the follow, Lasuri. Hope you're doing good today. It's less than 4 seconds, even. Really, I thought 4 seconds might have even been a bit too generous. I thought maybe it'd be 4.5, 5. The Chinese have taken over. Really? Does Max Park not hold a bunch of the world records anymore? I don't know how old he's getting. I mean, I know Felix is like my age, so you know, he's getting old and washed. It's a young kid's game. Apparently he has a job to do or something like that. Crazy. Solved a 1x1 in 30 seconds? Dude, slow the fuck down, dude. You're gonna hurt your hand moving that quick, dude. Still has a couple records on some of the bigger cubes. You know what's crazy? Fucking multi-blind. I don't know if y'all have ever watched multi-blind solving. It's where someone looks at multiple cubes. They have an hour to look at as many cubes as they want, put on a blindfold, and then solve all of them consecutively without taking the blindfold off. And then they get 1 point for every cube they solve correctly and minus 1 point for every cube they solve incorrectly. So even if you looked at 4 cubes and solved 2 of them correctly, you would still get a score of 0. And I think the record is like 30 or something. 3x3 PB is under 10 seconds? That's crazy. Today command missing Gilded Hosta? I think you might be right, actually. Yeah, Gilded Chain Body and Gilded Hosta should be on there too. You are correct, yeah. We've had 2 Gilded rolls today, which is pretty crazy. Turn around our Gilded Luck a little bit. I think we're still -3 on Gilded rolls, though. But we're still up on third age rolls, which is what's important, right? Mod you already? I mean, unironically, Brave, I have been like, one of these days I should message Brave to see if she's would actually be interested in being a mod. I know you joke about it and then you say I don't want to be a mod. And then I'm like, but Well, yeah, I mean, any single PB is going to be, you're going to have to get lucky with the scramble, obviously. That's why, like I said, I always find like best of fives to be so interesting because, like, you obviously still get a little lucky with the scrambles, but like, luck can only take you so far on those ones. That's true, actually. Yeah, I got that Gilded Hosta literally. Why am I okay? Why aren't you guys yelling at me for going for to the wrong clue step? This is on you guys, honestly. See, that's the other thing too, strategy is like they've gotten to the point where they're actually so insanely cracked that not only is it insane that they're memorizing that many cubes, but like it actually does come down to like an average of a 30-second solve, which is unreal. That not only are you doing it blindfolded, but you're averaging like a minute or sorry, 30 seconds per solve. If you're assuming even time for looking at them to actually solving them, which is probably more like 20-second inspection, 40-second solve, probably. But like remembering that much is insane. Your average of 5 PB is 1334. That's pretty cracked. I think my PB single solve time was just under 20 seconds. I never actually competed though. Clue details. It's how I also have it show the clue step on the floor and everything like that as well. Clue details is actually OP as hell. Definitely take go check them out if you haven't already. Because clue details will completely change the way you do clue scrolls. It's also how I get the ground timer on the clues too, which is really nice for like juggling a lot of clues at once. 9 years ago, though, yeah, I haven't done much cube solving either. I'd probably be lucky if like I could get a PB time under like 50 seconds nowadays. I was gonna say a minute, but I'm like, I think I could definitely break a minute. If you give me like 20 solves, I could probably get like a 50-second best. Yeah, it's something about like sorry, excuse me. Something like they chain them together with these different, what do you call them? Like not algorithms to remember them for multi-blind, but like different like literary devices almost. Yeah. Tried the other day, got a 23-second PB on that session. Average was like 30-ish. That's not bad for not having done it in about a decade. Understandably so, Coco. I think it was literally like 5 clues after the kite shield. And yeah, I was still a little bit more interested in that kite shield than the dupe gilded. But that is the Hosta, which was the last item we needed for you know, hard gilded green log. So it does feel interesting to have gotten a dupe of that finally. GM there, Sleigh Pets. How you doing today? Yeah, both the gilded Hosta and the third age kite, yeah. We did get that gilded chain body earlier, though. That is a new one for the tab, at least. Living at sharks, hunting moon keys. I assume. Good luck. Good luck. I still need like 25 loops myself to catch up with the teeth I have, but I'm gonna need to buy more lures soon. Oh dang, raw sharks are tanking in price. Feels bad, man. Should have sold mine earlier. Oh, great whites. Well, that's a little bit shorter of a grind at the very least. I didn't mind Great Whites too much. I did mind before the ship combat rebalance, though. I figure they're probably even more reclined now, though. Especially now, don't crewmates automatically start firing at a new target now? And don't you, like, automatically pick up carcasses? Crystal keys for the Iron Heat. I don't remember who mentioned that in a video I was watching the other day, but I'm like, that is actually kind of big. All right, we are going to be opening up some more hard soon, but I need to run to the bathroom real quick. Don't think you auto... Well, you don't auto loop, but like... Yeah, they made the animation faster, yeah. I will be right back. All right. We are back. Wee 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 wee. Hard clue alert. Oh, whoops. It's crazy that we got a third age roll today when we've also been having really good master luck. Usually, I only ever get like good gilded and third age rolls when we have terrible master luck. All right, so again, in case you missed it, wee 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 wee, hard clue alert. Though it looks like we've still got 25 hards to do before we finish the rest of the hards. So we might be here a little bit longer than I was hoping to finish those up. Oh man, with the Jason song, that's gotta be good luck, right? I'll put on your song in just a second, Wolf. Ooh, potions there too. And it's the good old superset potions as well. Love me a good old superset. You know it's a good one because it gives you 3 for the price of 1. I am. I mean, at this point, I'm thinking I might as well just yoink another piece of Third Age while we're at it, and another plate body as well. It's actually crazy. We've gotten 2 gilded, 1 Third Age, and 1 potions roll in 500 caskets. And there's our first D'Hide shield of the day too. Dude, we're just getting a little bit of everything. 2 D'Hide shields and 2 H plate bodies to go with it as well. I guess we just need to be late on the clue and another H plate body. What the hell? Another H4. Is H4? I think H4 is the one that we always get. Wait. Yeah, it's always the H4. Look at that. We've got so many more. 3 times as many H4s as we do H2s. We've been absolutely on fire today. I mean, that just means we've got to finish up these last clues we've got on the ground. It's okay. So, as you guys can see, we're still 25 clues short. It's about 22 clues per hour. So, it's going to be about an hour before we get to open the last of the clues, okay? Oh, thank you for the reminder. Sorry, Wolf. Got a little distracted there. So, time for us to lock in and do some more clue scrolls. Oh, wait, actually, I wanted to. Yeah. Wait. I don't think it is, but this kind of makes me think of Brittle Bones Nikki a little bit. I don't know if you know the song Brittle Bones Nikki. That's a song that got stuck in my head for a second in there as well. Wait, is that the Aquabats? Brittle Bones Nikki? No, Rare Americans. Okay. Whew. All right. Um, Coco, if you're there, if you haven't already, could you post the Dupe Third Age uh clip in the Discord and the stream clips? because I'm also going to steal it from there for a new command as well. Thank you kindly, good sir. Thank you for that song, Wolf. Been enjoying the the weird random songs that you've been requesting lately. They've been very nice. It's the type of like weird, goofy comedy slash parody music that I really enjoy. You want to know the one thing I am scared of? I am scared of going like 10,000 hard clues without a piece of third age. Because, like I said, I think I'm still like, I think with that drop, I'm +3 on third age rolls across all the clues. So I'm like, I'm definitely going to be due for a dry streak here coming up. And I am definitely not looking forward to it. By the way, how's the stream been today? I see here that like I've dropped frames a couple times, but we haven't actually disconnected, which is interesting. Lately, we'll drop 0 frames the whole time, except for when we hard drop and have to like fully reconnect the stream. Been fine. Okay. All right, so you did notice a little bit at the beginning, because yeah, I think we did have a little bit of a stutter there at the beginning. Nice, nice, Coco. How many keys is it going to be, and what does that put you up to? 500? Okay, that's about what I figured. That's going to put you out. Is it going to put you at 2,000? Put you at 2,500. Gotcha. 4 pieces already. So you're right on rate. Very nice, very nice. Hopefully you can maintain that. Time to max. I was gonna say you could like AFK while playing Binding of Isaac, but I guess there's not really anything that AFK to do for like rune crafting. Like obviously Bloods would be a little AFK, but I wouldn't think that would be something you'd want to do while doing Binding of Isaac. After I was just talking about how we weren't having issues with fully disconnecting today. Unfortunate, unfortunate. I know, I jinxed it. I was really begging it. I was begging something to happen. Should have knocked on wood, that's for sure. Knock, knock, knock. Better luck for next time, surely. What is it though? It's book and oh, coins. That's right. That's what it is. Oop, song from Morgan. Concrete Jungle, the OST. Is this a game? A show? I feel like I should know what it is, but like I said, I saw it's an OST. Ooh, okay. Getting a little crazy now. Why is this the type of music Eddie normally plays? I guess I actually can't think of what type of music Eddie normally plays. Is it like this? And I would agree, Morg. This is actually pretty good, not gonna lie. All Castle War items take a while, doesn't it? Faster than it used to. That's for sure. He doesn't like house music. So what? He always goes outside to listen to his music then? Dang, it finally spawned a log. I feel like the log bot's been real stingy with the logs today. Streamlabs yoinked one and that's been about it. It's a zero-sum game. Whenever I get, good items in game, it means you guys can't get good items in the Twitch log. Thank you for that song, Morgan. I liked that. Popping off the other day. It's always feast or famine. Holy, Morgan won a 50-50 right after complaining about the bot too. That's crazy. Guess the bot thought they just had to prove Morgan wrong. Might. Oh, I thought it was dropping again for a second. And right when I started thinking that the DCs hadn't been as bad lately, Oh. I didn't actually sip the pool, shaking my head. Take a nice long sip of that bird bath, buddy. Thank you. Fix chat? What's wrong with chat? Is it not updating? Huh, it's not. Let me just refresh the... Hopefully that resets it. It was very big on screen for a minute. Weird. I truly have no clue what could possibly cause that. Only like another 20 or 30 minutes, though. We're almost there. We are almost there. Thinking about what to do in your max? Finally play the game, you know? The world is your oyster. BA? I'm sure that'll be a blast, you know? Sounds like a grand old time to me. -2, dang. Tough crowd, tough crowd. Yes, sir. There were 2 of them, actually, if you can believe it. Ooh! BA will basically give you both a music and diary cape. I was gonna say, I'm like, isn't that the like only thing you need for diary cape? That'll be big. You were asleep at your desk? Maybe it's time to go to bed then, Shaka. Can't be falling asleep at the wheel like that. Morg again, holy. She is unstoppable today. That's crazy. Oh, wait, shoot. The GVS puzzle box is going to be gone. I forgot I had another one sitting over there. You're working, so you can't go to sleep? You just said you were sleeping, though. Holy. See, all it takes is complaining a little bit, and all of a sudden the randoms start flowing back in again. That's crazy. If Morgan joinks this one too, though, it's like actually rigged. Accident sleeping? I'm sure that'll make it a-okay then. You're right, Shaka. Coco wins it, of course. Morgan's oppressive reign finally ends. I think I just got another hideout step, didn't I? Yes, sir. I wonder what the chances of getting 2 pieces of third age in one opening. Actually, that's something a dry calc could check in dry calc. Chance of drop 1 in 3250. 500 kills, 1 drop. The chance of getting 1 drop is about 13%. And the chance of getting more than 1 drop is a little over 1%. So if I just do 100 500 clue openings, I'll be expected to get 1 clue opening where we get 2 pieces of third age. I mean, that's actually only 50,000 hard clues. Gonna get halfway to that this year. Wait. No. Oh, yeah, 1%. Yes, and we're gonna do 50 of them. Yeah. Exactly. Only Morgan. I'm glad we're on the same page. How many hearts should you stack before opening? Are you stalling for anything? Like, do you want to stall for like master clue uniques or like master clue steps or anything? Or assuming you've got all of that and don't gotta worry. And or do you already have all of the boxes? Because that'd be the other thing. Wait, scroll cases, that's what I was thinking of. Course, easies and mediums first. Course. And then elites for mimics. That's also true. You'll want to get that mimic, that first mimic kill so that you can get the mimic scroll case as well. You know what's crazy? I did the math last night, and assuming I've got 19,000 more hard clues to do, which I think is about accurate. Um, so assuming I have 19,000 more clues to do at 120,000 GP loss per clue, which is the current price of magpies, that would cost me about 2.25 billion GP, which is a bit rough to be sure. I would just go to 8K personally, Coco, but also like easies are about 50 per hour, which is one master per hour, which is, pretty close to the rate of like hards. Obviously, you don't have the chance at third age, which is like the main reason why hards are good to do post green log, but I would personally not stack up many past like 5K easies even. But if you do 5K and still don't have any monk's robes, then you could do like another several thousand probably without much worry. But again, also they are quite quick. See how you feel after doing all the imps? True, true, true. Speaking of imps, I don't know if you saw Coco, but the impling stack for me is looking pretty sad right now, not gonna lie. I'm down to like 135k imps. Natures, of course, in the bank. But the price difference between magpies and natures right now is only like 50k, so I'm actually going to be doing more magpies. Why did I grab this? Dude, I'm starting to zone out a little bit. Yeah, nature prices are not ideal right now, to say the least. That's crazy. We have 35 masters on the ground and we still have 100 to open. We did start with 4 in the bank, but even still, that means we're at 31 with 100 left. It means we're pacing for like 37 or 38. LGR might actually make his money back. I don't know about that one. Also, I thought he sold off his imp stack. I thought he bit the bullet on that loss, but I'm not actually sure. He is, but he trades over a lot of dupes to a main account for splitting that he does a lot of flipping on. So it's basically like just for fun for him because like he doesn't actually need that money for anything. I think he mostly dumps it into like clan events and stuff even. And like I said, like for splitting. Which I guess having an extra like couple bill lying around for like splitting items day one on new releases is probably nice. Right now, I have around 150 mil in empty impling jars that I'm holding off on selling. I don't know if you guys saw this, but yeah, 330k empty impling jars. I just refuse to sell them when they're so low like this. Like, it just doesn't make sense. I could actually just like save myself 100 mil if I wait for them to go up in price. Plus, then it forces me to make more money to buy more imps. All right, we've worked down the puzzle box steps. We're on the home stretch here. All right, every casket is one casket closer. What do we got left? About 10-ish left. Oh yeah, checks out. 11 more to go, it looks like. Another half hour. Man, I feel kind of tired today. I wonder why. Probably doesn't have anything to do with doing like 12 hours of hards in the last 17 hours. Yep. Yeah, I was definitely taking a peek at those there, Coco. Yeah, they're definitely going to be fun to finish off, that's for sure. That's a nice thing with the clue openings usually, is that usually by the time, the clue opening is over, I've only got like another like 15 of them on the ground, and I've already got like a good triple step going. The downside of being addicted to Coliseum, I guess. Surely I'll learn my lesson this week. Surely. Kind of tough on this one, though, to be fair, since my week is actually off this week. So for anyone who wasn't here when I said it earlier, we are actually going to be gone on Monday and Tuesday of next week. So that means we are going to have to move the date of the clue opening. I'm not 100% sure when we're going to move it to yet. I'm thinking that we are going to open as many as we can this Friday. And then it probably will not be the full 500. And then we will open the rest on the next Monday opening, which would be 2 Mondays from now. Not next week, but the week after. Holy congrats, Jam. Absolutely massive. Love to see it. What did you get it from? I thought about it, Britt. But I kind of wanted to keep it go. Yeah, I don't know. I had considered it, but I'm like, I would like to keep it a little bit more even. The biggest awkward thing is that it's going to be the end of the month. So it's going to throw off the like month by month openings, which I mean isn't that big of a deal. Off of a shimmering shoal even. God damn. Congrats. That is the one thing that I still need. Holt Ecto. The one thing from sailing, I should say. Absolutely been on a clogging spree for real, for real. Need a few big fish, anglers paint, and barracuda paint. Ooh, okay, you're closing in on finishing them all off as well then. Very nice. very nice, Brit. Yeah, I prefer not chilling when catching chins, but you know, if I actually start trying to grind them out, maybe that'll change. Yeah, that'd be crazy if you had bought the paints early, especially since you're missing Angler. Now, if you had yoinked Angler early, that would have been fair to buy like Salver's paint, you know, that way you could sell it off while it was still worth more. But Angler's paint is the one expensive one. Yeah, absolutely, Jim. Yeah, it barely counts as its own log, absolutely. But yeah, if I had gotten Anglers before Salvers, I would have bought a Salvers in order to make the merchants and then sell it while it was still higher. But Anglers was the last one I needed by the time I got it as well. Which I feel like is how it usually goes for people. Is that Anglers is the last one. 500 in an hour? I have no clue what like the efficient rates for catching chins are. That would be a good question. I honestly just love one tick chin catching though. It's actually a really fun form of tick manipulation. It's very satisfying in my opinion. It is a bit sweaty though, admittedly. I know you don't like it for sure, Brett. No, I was certainly not expecting you to have. For sure, for sure. I really don't know how much of a difference it makes though. I have considered, I'm like, if I'm gonna tick manip, maybe I could just like dolo black chins at that point, you know what I mean? I think for reds it's like 120k. For blacks it's like 98k. For grays like 180. I think that's about correct. I think blacks is just under 100k, reds is a little over. I think grays is like somewhere between like 150 and 180. That's base, and then minus, you know, 99 times 50. All right, almost a couple clues left. We are on the home stretch. Oh. What are chin prices at these days? I feel like that's gone up. 1100 for a red, 2700 for a black. I feel like I see way less black chin bots nowadays. It has gone up since January. January they were around 2k for blacks. Even in September they were only about 2100. But a year ago they were up at 4k. Yeah, it looks close to the same with reds as well. Oh, it's Hilton Ecto. Grabbed Sleep in Ecto. That is a good point. I forgot about Horn of Plenty. Red's 1 in 95, black's 1 in 80, gray 1 in 128. Oh, okay, a little bit lower than I thought. I was about right on black, but there's less of a difference than I thought. Well, I guess it's close to about the same difference. I just was up a little bit. So that's a 15K difference between black and red. And I said like 190 versus 120. Or sorry, 90 versus 120. That's a 30K difference. That's pretty significant. But yeah, I would say most people just prefer doing reds over blacks for chin hunting. That's a good question, actually. I believe Prif is like several KXP per hour more efficient than Feldip. Yeah, I believe Prif is pretty significantly better, but I also don't know how much that takes into effect, like how efficient you're being. Like maybe it only really affects it if you're like shooting chins and stuff like that. Unfortunately, though, you don't get crystals for chins, which is a real shame. Oh, I forgot about Chin Island. Are there... I thought it was only grays on Chin Island, though. Are there reds? I totally forgot that that existed, Coco. But yeah, I believe that the wander range at Prif is less, Brit, which I think is what makes it better, but I'm not entirely sure. Maybe also the spawns are just closer, maybe? So I think it's a decent difference, but probably not one you would notice too much of a difference for unless you're sweating it. But it's also one of those things too where it's like if you're only auto resetting, you know, you're resetting the traps pretty slowly. So even if like you should catch more chins per hour, you might not even notice a difference at Feldup versus Prif. Since you're resetting the trap so slowly anyway, you probably still always have a trap to reset. I mean, I had assumed that you were just auto resetting. Yeah, whenever I was chin hunting, I would always at least 3-tick reset. Because like 3-ticking is so easy for chins. It's like you literally don't even know how you don't even need to know how tick manipulation works to 3-tick them. Only 5 red chin spawns on the island, no way it's worth. But also like isn't the island pretty small? Because, like, if it reduces the wander range significantly, maybe it's still worth? Because, like, they respawn pretty quickly. Yeah, I mean, there are 15 in the cave, but the cave is absolutely massive. I don't even think that the wander range on a lot of them probably even get to where you're going, like where you would set them up. But I have no clue on that. Yeah, all I know is that that Prif is slightly better when being efficient. But like I said, I don't know how much that affects it if you're just like one click resetting. It's very possible it literally just doesn't matter. Prif definitely looks nicer, that's for sure, Morgan. That's for sure. Isn't it crazy that Prif came out like, has it been like 8 years now? July 2019. So it's gonna be 7 years in July. Crazy to think. I literally still think of Prif as like the new area because it was the first area that released when I started playing. And you still haven't greenlogged it? Oh yeah, because Gauntlet. Yep. I was gonna say I'm like, no, haven't I now? Like, yep, Gauntlet. Literally just missing the pet. Came out before you started playing? Really, Morgan? I always forget that you started playing before me. Or sorry, you started. I started playing before you. It's funny because I always still think that I haven't been playing RuneScape that long because most of the other high level cloggers were all playing RuneScape like years before I started playing. Started in 2020. That's crazy. We were talking about when we started playing, Brett, because we were talking about how Prif came out in 2019, if you can believe it. I say I figured if Morgan started playing after me, then Britt probably started playing a little after Morgan. Started summer of 22 even. Dang. It is crazy when I do think back to my process of maxing back in 2020. It looked very different than how it looks now, especially for somebody who's like a clogger. Feb 24, coming in on 2 years? Or no, sorry, you just broke 2 years. I do vaguely remember us talking about that. Maxed in 22? I maxed at the very beginning of 21. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, Brit, there wasn't much else to do back in the day. There were so many less clogs to grind for that skilling was like way more of a like natural thing to really go for. I had around 350 logs when I maxed. But there were so many less minigame logs out. I don't know if it shows this for YouTube, Brit, but in the chat there, you just lost your gem icon for one chat and then you got it right back. Don't know what would cause that. It's very silly. Okay, 4 more clues to go. We're almost there, ladies and gents. Almost there. Okay, I'm like, I think when we've had problems with badges not showing up, it's not just a one-person problem, but it's so weird. But she doesn't see that. I guess it would make sense if anyone wouldn't see that issue. It would be the person with the actual badge. That's a good way to go about it. Absolutely, Brett. I mean, I still kind of do that. You know what I mean? I feel like you kind of have to sandbag logs a little bit. Otherwise, you're just going to burn yourself out so bad. Though next year I might try going for like as many clogs as I can, which would mean, knocking out easier ones, but we'll see. I've also considered really pushing for like all pets as well. Like that would be kind of a fun thing to start focusing on a little bit. LMS. It would give me a lot of logs, that's for sure. Ten pets a year is fun. That is true. It's just that like going for all pets is a very natural, like engaging goal to go for, you know? But it does mean like hunting the pets that suck too, right? Like BA pet specifically. That's the main one that I think I would be scared of. I don't think there are really any other pets that scare me like BA pet does. I feel like there's another really bad pet that I don't have, but I can't remember what it is. Oh, Chambers pet. Chambers pet actually also does really scare me. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess in a way, the God Wars dungeon pets do actually scare me too, because it's like they are so rare that I'm expected to go 2x on at least one of them by the time I get all the God Wars dungeon pets, which just it does not sound like fun going 10k for some of those. Corp pet, of course, but obviously I could boost for that. It would just be expensive. I have the Toa pet. Also, that's not one that scared. Like, I am a little sad I spooned the Toa pet because that's not that hard of a pet. Same with the Tob pet. The Tob pet even more though. Tob pet's pretty free. I did see that you said the other day you finally did creature creation, Britt, which I thought was very funny. But the other thing too, though, is I would go for all pets if it weren't for the fact that I do really want to try to go for gilded green log. But then I have to do elite clues. Fucking hate grinding elite clues. Because Jagex hates giving them. And Rot hates letting people have them. A while back, but yeah, I did. It would see that's the thing though, Coco, is it would be so fucking cool going for elite green log. Because like not only am I going for elite green log, but then I'm also going for gilded green log. Plus, it gives me a chance at those like elite and technically even master third age from mimics, which is pretty crazy, but it's just like I do not want to have to burn shades. It's also just like you do them so slow that it's just not good for content. If I did the same amount of hours of elites every week that I do hards for, it would get me like 85 elites, which like sucks. I think we've got 2 clues left, which means like 1.5. True. Being able to just fully turn them in for elites and never feel bad for it would be great. How many well, it's gonna be 100 caskets that we open. Oh dang. We missed clicking on our max cape apparently. Bloodhound pet would be a fun one to hunt. Another one that I'm a little sad that I spooned. It would be a very fun one to hunt for. Yeah, I'm going from hards and working my way up. Brit starting at masters and working her way down. It is kind of funny. Wait, you did, Morgan? I do not remember this, that you got a 5 KC Bloodhound. That's silly. Golden Pheasant Egg? It's no gilded, but suppose it'll do in a pinch. Because it happened in 2021. I mean, that's a pretty sick pet to have in 2021, you know what I mean? Like it's still a sick pet to have now, but I mean back in 2021 there like rank 1 for masters probably had like 1k masters done. Oh, Morgan winning another 50-50. What the hell? At 130 masters, a ways to go. Slowly but surely, Britt. Slowly but surely. I guess I should have opened the other clue before I re-geared. No, never punished. I believe the command is spawn a drop, Shaka. Oh, there we go. It was just delayed slightly. Had to get 5 thieving levels and a +5 boost for that clue. That's crazy. +5 boosting thieving. That's wild. You really think Morg was blackjacking back in 2001 or 2021? No way. I fucking love thieving. Such a good skill, honestly. Probably in my top 5. That's true. I suppose Artie Knights always existed. Pyramid Plunder. Pyramid Plunder's not bad. I was going to say back when those scepters were actually worth something, but I actually just checked the price of scepter to see if I wanted to buy one on my alt yesterday. And scepters are at like 5.5 mil or something like that. It's kind of crazy. I don't know though. We literally just named like 4 different pieces of high level thieving content that are all relevant and uh doable. Relevant and meta, I guess was the word I was looking for. Wee wee wee. Hard clue alert. Ladies and gentle turtles, it is time for the final 100. It took us a second. It took a second, but we finally got there. Oop. Zammy full helm. I don't think we can really be expecting anything else today with 2 gilded, a potions, and third age, but do get a couple masters though. Really good master luck today. Wow, really holding up that master luck. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Still holding up that master luck. Good lord. It was not, unfortunately, Brett. It was a dupe of the first piece of third age we got this year. First ever dupe third age. But it was bound to happen eventually. Good lord, just keep seeing more masters. That was a 6k hard clue right there. Insane that that's not the worst clue that we've had today. I did finally do my tiers on the alt last night, 2 nights ago. Wanted to get some of that free sailing XP. There we go. Another 500 clues down. Like we showed before, finally got ourselves that dupe third age. It was bound to happen eventually, so I can't be too mad. I'm just happy that the third age RNG continues to be pretty good. We're still up like 2.5 or 3 rolls on third age overall. So as long as we keep getting good third age RNG, the new logs have to be coming eventually. So I'll say that's a successful day. All right. Like I mentioned earlier, the next clue opening is going to be on Friday. I don't know how many clues will open Friday. It probably won't be the full 500, but we will be opening some clues on Friday. We will not be live on Monday or Tuesday. I think we'll be back by Wednesday, but that's still a little up in the air depending. At the very least, we're not going to be live Monday, Tuesday, opening on Friday this week, and then we'll be back to the regularly scheduled openings on Monday, 2 weeks from now. Whatever we don't open on Friday, we'll open on Monday in 2 weeks. I'm taking a backpacking trip, Brett. Me, my brothers, Andrea, one of my brother's fiance, and a couple of his friends are all going on a overnight backpacking trip. Let's see here who we've got to send y'all off to.